Alright, today we're going to be doing a little driving video in my 2004 Honda Element LX. It is all-wheel drive with a K24a JDM swap with an added 6-speed. Alright, let's go. Just going to let it warm up for a bit. It's a cold start, first of the day. This car is equipped with a ton of aftermarket goodies that myself and the previous owner has added. Short and sweet build list. It's got 1320 motor mounts, 1320 rear diff mount, BC coilovers, 1320 2.5-inch stainless steel headers, their 2.5-inch stainless high-flow cat, as well as their 2.5-inch stainless steel catback exhaust. It does have drilled and slotted rotors, adjustable rear upper control arms, aluminum rear lower control arms. I believe that's it for the exterior. The interior is pretty much stock. Just got this different shift handle, little Android radio, which is a piece of crap, by the way. Probably end up doing a warranty with that. Yeah, this car is a ton of fun to drive. I've been in test driven a stock manual Honda Element and they just have no go. This car is how it should have came from the factory, with the 6-speed and with a TSX motor, or that K24a comes in a bunch of different platforms. I think it's like the JDM Accord, the JDM Honda Odyssey, but we never really know where it comes from, what vehicle. We just get it here imported and hope for the best. I haven't owned the car for too long. It's been a couple months now, and I put about 3,100 miles on it. Pretty much issue free. It does have a couple little knickknacks that I need to take care of, but other than that, it's a great car. Alright, let's go. Section what you guys have, if you have a automatic element or a manual element, and if budget was out of the option, what would you prefer to have? That's the BC coilovers. While it is a great product, I'm just not a fan of the lowered coilover scene. Handles good in the corners, does not handle good for daily driving, but quote, handling good is objective. So while some people might think, oh, that's not bad, my car had blah 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 rated springs. That's nice and all, but I prefer the more stock or a softer suspension, more tuned towards off-roading. The car does have the stock ECU, currently running the K24a swap. I have a Honda coming in a couple weeks that is already tuned, so we will make sure that we are getting the full potential from this swap. Because no, what some people believe is not true, injectors do not learn the motor. You do need to have a tuned ECU to fully run this motor to its max potential. So this is probably my 5th Honda I've owned. I've owned a couple Civics, one K-swap Civic, one boosted D-Series Civic, and I also own a 2nd gen lifted Honda CR-V. And this is definitely the most fun Honda I've ever owned. It feels like my swapped or my turboed Civic, but with all the amenities of an SUV, which I love. Let me know in the comment section what your favorite Honda platform that you've owned. That lowered stuff, more credit to you, because it is not a game I like to play. I'm going to be selling these BC coilovers if anyone's interested. Give them for a fair price as they are used. Does have 17x8 NKI RPF1s with 225/55 R17s. They are a smaller diameter, so unfortunately it throws the speedo off, but I will be changing that in the future. I'll be throwing snow tires on for the winter season coming up, and hopefully I'll get the true use out of that 6-speed, because right now my speedo is about 10 miles per hour off. light wheel and tire setup. They handle pretty good in dry conditions, not very good in the wet. But this car was in Las Vegas before, so they did not see much precipitation. So it was good for that use, but now we're here in Salt Lake County and time to make some adjustments. Also, the steering wheel is completely crooked. It does need an alignment, but like I said, I'm going to be getting rid of the BCs and going back to stock, so it's going to change the geometry. I don't want to waste my money on an alignment when I have plans to change in the future. Once I go back to stock, then I'll get an alignment. Tesla side. It's just not anything the body lines do for me. About 10% of my driving is turns, and I'd rather enjoy the other 90%. About 10 miles per hour off, but at 6th gear at 80 miles per hour, it's about 3,400 RPMs. That's a lot of improvement. I did the gas mileage adjustment on this car, and it's getting like 25 miles a gallon, and that's with my spirited heavy foot driving style too, so not bad. I'll definitely lose some miles per gallon once I get a different wheel and tire package set up, but for some cushion on the road, I don't mind that. Yeah, because these 55 profile tires, while they're good for racing and fast in the corners, it's just not what I'm into. noise you're hearing, if the camera's picking it up, it's the throwout bearing in my transmission. It's on its way going out, so I'm gonna have to get that replaced. It goes away when the clutch is engaged, comes back when it's not engaged. It's also excessive vibration from the motor mount package. There's no way getting around that. When you get stiffer motor mounts for higher horsepower applications, you're gonna have vibration. I've had Civics in the past with upgraded motor mounts, so I'm used to it, but that's not something you're into. I would not recommend upgrading your power unless you want to upgrade your motor mounts. Section, what do you think about that exhaust note from the 1320 stainless steel package? Personally, I love it. When you want to drive quiet, it's not very loud, but when you want to hear that exhaust tone, I think it sounds so good between 3,000 and 4,000 RPMs. This package does come with a resonator and a muffler. It only drones a little bit with the windows up, around like 3,200 RPMs, but that's not really something I mind that much. That wraps it up for today's video. I'm here to do my Amazon Flex shift and just wanted to bring you guys along for a little ride so you can kind of get an idea what it's like to drive a JDM swap 6-speed all-wheel drive element. All right, see you on the next